All right, welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to talk about fingers, hands, and wrists. We do a lot of stuff in our daily life now that actually puts a lot of stress on our hands, and it's not the things that you would think. It's things like typing, where you hold the same position for hours and hours just doing tiny little movements. This tightens up all the muscles in your forearms, which leads to problems like carpal tunnel syndrome. With some simple exercises and stretches done regularly, a lot of this is preventable and reversible. So I just want to show some simple things that you can do on a regular basis to help your fingers, your hands, and your wrists stay nice and flexible and strong. I'm just going to kind of throw a whole bunch of stuff out here for you guys to try out and see what works for you and what helps. Experiment. The important thing with these exercises, like all exercises, is that you do them regularly. If you do them once a week, once a month, you're not going to get any benefit out of them. Do them daily. Preferably do them multiple times throughout the day. That's how you're going to get the best benefit. Some of these things are stretches, and some of these things are exercises that you can do to strengthen up all the tiny muscles and ligaments and tendons in your hands, wrists, and fingers. So real quick backstory on how your hands work. You have some muscles in your hand that control the fingers. Most of the muscles that control your hands, wrists, and fingers are actually up here in your forearms. They're not actually down in your hands. So taking care of the forearms is important for taking care of your hands. So we're going to do a few exercises for the forearms and a few exercises for the hands and fingers. Let's get to it. Okay, we're just going to start out with some simple strengthening exercises. We're going to use a few simple isometric exercises to help you strengthen the hand muscles, the actual muscles in the hand. All right, basically all I want you to do is start by spreading your fingers as far as you possibly can. And you're just going to hold that. You see my wrists are straight, my fingers are spread wide. This is going to strengthen all the muscles that are inside the hand that control the fingers. And you can hold this for a minute and then take a break. Do this anytime you get a chance in the day. You can just spread your fingers, hold it for about a minute, and then just shake them out. You'll feel a lot of tension going up through your forearms and in the back of in front of your hand. Okay, next simple exercise. We're just going to do a simple isometric hold. These muscles on the back of your forearm tend to get very tight just because we're always doing things this way, closing our hand, flexing all the time. We don't do a whole lot of this. So what you need to do is you're going to practice pulling your hand up towards your elbows. So top of the hand back towards the elbow. You can see I have some tightness in this pinky here from all the rock climbing. And you're just going to pull back and you're going to hold this. Same deal as before. This is an isometric. You're going to hold it for about a minute. You can do both hands at the same time, or if you want to really focus on one, you can do one at a time. If you want to make it a little bit harder, combine the two exercises and spread your fingers at the same time you pull your hand backwards. That's going to help strengthen all the muscles on the back of your forearm, and if you spread your fingers at the same time, it will work the muscles in your hand. Now, another simple thing you can do is just simple wrist circles. This will move your wrist through basically the largest range of motion that you have and redistribute some of the synovial fluid in the joint. You might feel a little popping and grinding. I actually have quite a bit going on. That's tendons that are sliding across bone, not smoothly. So you can feel that there's a little bit of soft tissue bind up. All right, this will help get things warmed up for the next couple exercises. If you want to take the wrist circles to a different level, you can put your hands on the floor, spread your fingers out, and you're just going to rock your body up over top of your hands. So you're still doing wrist circles, but this is going to add a little bit of strengthening to the movement because now your hands have to work to maintain your balance. Otherwise, you're going to just do one of these numbers. So use your hands. You can also rotate your hands over and do the same thing. You're probably going to be weaker this way, so don't put as much weight out over your hands. If you experience a lot of discomfort, back off. If you need to have less wrist flexion, then bring your hands back further towards your knees, and that will keep a smaller angle in the wrist. It'll be more comfortable. So you can see here, I have my hands back towards my knees, my wrists aren't bent as much. If I move them out in front of me, my wrists bend a lot. So that way you can control how much tension there is. Okay, and so the last little thing I'm going to show is probably my favorite. This used to be my go-to stretch for warm-ups for rock climbing. I've gotten a little lazy with my warm-ups, so I don't do it as much as I used to. But this is individual finger stretches. So you can do flexion or extension either way. But what you do, straighten your arm, grab one finger at the end of your finger, and then bend that finger down towards your elbow. And this is going to stretch all the muscles, tendons, and ligaments connected to that one finger. And you're just going to go one at a time and stretch each one. Obviously, you want to hold each of these about a minute, but you know, if you're in a hurry, you can stretch the whole hand at once. This is going to get a lot better stretch throughout. This was really important when I was rock climbing because it puts a lot of tension on each individual finger. There are times where you're only holding on with one or two fingers. So it's more important if you're doing something that's very finger intensive like rock climbing. It still feels really nice. Even if you're not. Something like typing or playing the guitar or playing the keyboard, this could benefit you as well. And don't forget to do the extension side as well. So same thing, arm nice and straight, and just bend your finger down towards the floor and back towards your elbow. And one at a time, hit each finger, and then move on. And last but not least is a simple coordination drill you can do to work on the mobility of your fingers. Some people are going to get this really easily. Some people are going to have a really hard time with this. But all you're going to do is touch each individual finger to your thumb and try to do it so that you don't move any other fingers. And this is going to build up the nerves from your brain to your fingers and better coordinate so that you don't use your fingers like they're in a mitt. You'll have better control over each individual finger. Okay, so there you go. There's a whole bunch of simple things you can do to help your hands, wrists, and fingers feel a little better and work a little better. They'll build some strength, some flexibility, and hopefully long-term mobility into all those joints and muscles. We take our hands for granted a lot because we use them for everything. And when they get hurt, it really, really affects you. So give them a try. See if it helps you out. If you have any more questions, hit me up in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you know somebody you think this would help, share it with them. In the meantime, keep your life in motion.